Welcome to Debugging During Coding. I'm John Robbins. Let's get started. Our big idea for this section is that your code should tell you where the problem is, not the debugger. As always, the debugger is the last resort, and if your code has good diagnostics in it, it can tell you when all the problems are occurring, so you never have to use the debugger. Many of you have heard the term defensive programming. That's a term I detest because it's weak and wimpy. I like the term proactive programming because the more we check and verify in code, the less time we spend in the debugger. The other thing I want to get across in this section is my fundamental philosophy of development. You and I are the ones putting the bugs in the code. The janitor doesn't sneak in at night and stick them in. Your manager doesn't stick them in. Well, maybe your manager does. But the big idea is that you and I are the ones doing the work. So very quickly, I just wanted to show you how Fusion Log Viewer works so that you can find these assembly loading problems, because this is a good thing to know about. So from an administrator prompt, I need to run the program. The assembly binding log viewer shows up, and we have to configure the settings, and the default is disabled. You can do custom paths as well, but you may want to just stick to binding failures to disk, and this would report assemblies that couldn't be found and types that were bad and so on. But I'll do everything so we can see the whole output. So great, we've turned it on, haven't run anything yet. Let me go run an application just to give us something to do. So this application loaded up, we'll shut it down. And I can come back to the assembly log viewer and refresh my display, and here's where all of the binding took place, where it loaded all the assemblies. So we can look. I have a walk stacks button there, and let me click that. And notice that the UI changed a little bit. Here's what's really neat about SuperAssert. Because of code access security and the implementation of .NET, there is no way for the standard stack trace class to get the locals and parameters. But let me show you something very interesting about Supersurf.net. I'm going to right click in the window down here and say expand all, and what do you have? Exactly, you've got all the locals and parameters. In fact, it gets even better because I can go over here and now look at what the other threads were doing, and I can expand all of those. And this way we're getting to see all of my locals and parameters as I'm debugging. So this is magic. And yes, when you copy everything to the clipboard, any of these call stacks you've walked this way will automatically show up. And I found that having all of this information in